for joining us on this edition of BroncTV News. I'm Myra Gomez.
And I'm Karina Cantu.
Coming up, it's been a year since the explosion at the West Texas facility. Find out how residents are coping with the loss. Also, some students tell us about the struggles of living near the border and find out how students celebrated Earth Week. Also, find out about some precautions students can take while studying abroad. And also, we have your latest Bronc weather forecast.
We will also bring you the story of a young student whose legal status has only motivated her to work harder. Find out about the sanitary routine done after you leave the gym and about how our Student Government Association wants their voices to be heard. Plus, learn about the struggles that many students face during the dreaded finals week.
On April 17, 2013, 15 people lost their lives, 160 were injured, and 180 buildings were diminished due to an explosion at a West Texas fertilizer company. After a year, residents are still trying to move forward. Omar Jimenez tells us more.
April 17th.
That will be the date that residents of West Texas will never forget. This is what is left of the fertilizer plant that exploded 1 year ago, which killed 15 people and caused damage to nearby homes. As the city is still recovering, homeowners are not stopping as they rebuild their lives from scratch.
So I'm having to get an SBA loan and, to rebuild, and very thankful for that. But yes, I was underinsured, and it's been a long process.
Moving forward along with schools.
We're going to start breaking ground on a brand new campus for grades 6 through 12 here in July. So that's probably been one of the things we've been worried about.
Residents came together as they remembered the lives that were lost that evening, as they paid tribute to the fallen.
The debt we owe those firefighters and emergency personnel is undefinable, because how much is a human life worth?
"7:51 p.m. was the exact time that the disaster struck this community, as they paused and remembered what they thought could never happen.
I'm humbled at the courage and the strength of the many that have built back their homes and their lives in what has been a remarkable year of progress."
For BroncTV, I'm Omar Jimenez.
For many students, their DACA permit deadlines are coming up. Find out how students like Maria Ibarra are facing the situation. Orlando Vargas has the story.
Maria Ibarra has always dreamed of doing great things.
I knew I wanted to help change the world and help people that don't have the resources, to succeed.
Her hopes of realizing her dream were shattered because of her undocumented status.
I came up with all these lies, to keep up the documented status that I didn't have.
UTPA's total student population as of spring 2014 is 18,821. 734 of those students are undocumented.
We also always work with our young people to be sure that they have a place where they know that they have an advocate.
Marta Sanchez is making a difference to help undocumented students like Ibarra live the American dream.
In 2 years, those students will be confronting with the issue again, either to renew the permit, or if that decision has been removed, then they'll be again undocumented.
Lupe has helped more than 1,000 students get approved for deferred action. This time around, they're expecting even more.
At the end of the day, technically, there's no borders, and you shouldn't stop dreaming just because you can't cross it or you can't go anywhere just because you don't have the paper to do it.
Ibarra's dream of being temporarily documented came in April of 2013.
I thought of all the opportunities that I had been missing for, 19 years of my life.
Her future and the future of thousands of dreamers around the country still remains uncertain. In Edinburgh, Orlando Vargas, BroncTV News.
Due to the violence and corruption often lived in the border, the life of many students can be difficult. Some of the experiences were shared by them. Jesus Esparza reports.
The Border War Conference was held in UTPA. The event included high school students who shared their own experience living in the border.
My real dad used to cross drugs and stuff, so I know what's going on there. He's not here no more, but I experienced a lot of violence with drugs and stuff like that, and that's only something you see here on the border.
For Angel Bernal, it has been a difficult experience living in the United States.
Trying to find work, this and that, because, you know, how sometimes they always require Social Security and documents to work. Well, you know, but couldn't get the job. I wasn't documented yet.
High school students also learn new topic dealing with the border violence.
Did a real good presentation. Many people don't know about those children. And you see, like here in the Valley, a lot of guys abuse a woman, and it's just not right. And she had a good point out there.
But for Mark Ramirez, it is a time to improve the security here in the Rio Grande Valley.
I was really interested in the abuse that kids have and the illegal immigrants. Maybe later on in the future in my career, I would like to help and provide back. It's an interesting category that's going on around right this time.
He also commented on the situation with the ex-sheriff of the Hidalgo County, Lupe Treviño.
Corrupt. I mean, it's like any other place. There's some that do stand up for us, but there's other, you know, just corrupt. Look at what happened with the sheriff.
Drones was also a hot topic in the conference.
In populated areas where you're flying these drones, sometimes you can lose contact with your drone and they can fall. They can either do damage or hurt somebody or even kill somebody, because these things can be heavy. I think it yields probably a good aspect for the future of business, because it can either drive innovation or it can drive creative innovation. It'll probably be used more for commercial use, such as photography, instead of surveillance among businesses here in the city.
For BroncTV, I am Jesus Esparza.
Our nationally recognized recreational and sports complex prides itself in providing world-class facilities for students wanting a workout. But once you're done breaking a sweat, the gym gets a workout of its own. Sergio Puente tells us how the gym keeps it clean.
Spray and wipe. Those are the two easy steps to make your workout experience at the gym a whole lot smarter.
The one everybody thinks of is MRSA, or staph infections caused by working out on a machine or a piece of equipment and not wiping it down and cleaning it when you're done.
UTPA Student Health Director Rick Gray tells BroncTV that the #1 improper sanitation-related illness at gyms is staph infection.
Skin infections, you have a lot of boils, you have cuts that get infected.
A recent study from the Journal of the American Medical Association found that MRSA, or staph infection, caused more than 94,000 life-threatening infections and almost 19,000 deaths. Most staph infections are contracted in a hospital, but some cases have been recorded from improper sanitation at gyms.
2 years ago, we had a situation where there was a lot of communities that there was a run in staph infections in a lot of high schools and stuff like this, and there was a run on it. So now we carry, which is roughly about 3 months supply at all times.
I do it because it's clean, it's healthy, it's hygienic. It's not just for me, it's for the other students that use the machines. Honestly, the Rec is probably one of the cleaner gyms that I've ever been to here in the Valley.
I rate our facility, as far as cleanliness, I rate it up, as probably one of the best. I've been through several gyms, and you can come in, and I guess one of the telltale signs when you walk into a facility and you get that musty odor.
Mr. Cáceres and the rest of the rec team keep the facility in tip-top condition by doing semester deep cleanings, which include the weight floor, cardio machines, and the locker rooms.
When you're done working with the equipment, wash your hands. Make sure you take a good shower every day. Don't share towels with anybody else in the locker rooms.
So the next time you find yourself at the gym, remember,
sure your machines are getting wiped down in between uses.
Your mother's not here to clean up after you.
Wipe down the machine before you get on it, and then wipe it down afterwards.
For BroncTV, I'm Sergio Puente.
Earth Week took place last week at the University of Texas Pan American, and a group of students are a part of this good cause. Beatriz Ramirez brings us the details.
It's been 44 years since the birth of a movement, which is now celebrated globally, but its advocacy grows here in our community. An organization with students such as Sam Penning, who is making a difference, trash bag after trash bag.
Today's Earth Day. We're celebrating our Earth Fest, which we've done in years past. Let everybody know that you can really start off on the same foot. Everybody can start off, whether it's trying to recycle, maybe switching some light bulbs.
UTPA students rallied outside campus to advocate for increased protection of our planet. The Environmental Awareness Club's year-long efforts to educate starts with one simple advice.
First principle, reduce. Second principle, reuse. Third principle, recycle. And buy recycled. And finally, go on alternative energy.
Various activities took place during the event, including trained biologist and former investigative reporter Arturo Longoria, who spoke about the endangerment of our region's habitat, and several booths that offered information on renewable energy and consumer culture.
If everybody on the Earth lived just like me, it would take up 5 planet Earths. And that kind of, hit me real hard, and then the more I learned from other students around here, the more I learned about the environment as well.
Just like thousands of people around the world, the Environmental Awareness Club comes together in hopes of impacting young people in gaining consciousness in commemoration of the 44th Earth Day. Beatriz Ramirez, BroncTV News.
What has the Student Government Association done to have the voices of their students heard? Nancy Botello tells us more.
A lot of great things that can be happening, and having y'all involved is honestly one of the most important parts for ourselves.
With the recent university merger and our new UTRGV being planned, the Student Government Association and our administration want to give a voice to the ideas of our student body.
I have a suggestion or an idea. At the new university, what would you like to see? And give us all your suggestions so that we can try to incorporate as many of them as possible. Some students live at one campus and work at another.
Realistic or not, what exactly is it that our students want to see happen?
Maybe extend the union a bit more.
Getting forensic science in here, it would be actually good to do as part of my criminal justice core.
More student life and more interactions within both of the universities. Now that they're merging into one, it just seems like something that should happen already.
My concern is how will it work with transportation? Will you have to be constantly driving to Brownsville or be driving to Edinburgh, or will there be a transportation set up by the school that will transport between campuses?
Campus transportation was one topic that was touched on during a discussion panel held in the Student Union Auditorium.
What's being done, or what are, the big suggestions of transportation between the campuses?
We know that a lot of our students rely on that transportation up and down the valley. We're also working with the city of McAllen and with the city of Edinburgh.
The time to voice your suggestions is now. The SGA encourages all students to participate in the making of our new university. For BroncTV News, I am Nancy Botello.
Karina is already on the other side of the studio. Let's take a look at today's weather.
Thank you, Myra. Now, temperatures have been decreasing slowly here in South Texas. We did see how yesterday we had mostly cloudy skies, and it looks like today will be the same. We will be having a high of 80 and a low of 55 for tonight. We do see how temperatures start to change just a little bit as we move out into tomorrow. Here are the temperatures in the Rio Grande Valley. In Rio Grande City, we will be having a high of 82. Edinburgh and McAllen reaching almost the 90s as we move out into the coast. Harlingen ends up with a high of 86 degrees. Looking into our overnight conditions for tomorrow, Saturday as well, the whole Rio Grande Valley will be in the 50s. Rio Grande City 57, Edinburgh, McAllen 55 and 57, Harlingen 53, and South Padre Island with the highest at 59. Now, taking a look into our 7-day Bronx weather forecast, we do see how temperatures start to rise a little bit more after Saturday. We will be hitting the 90s the whole week, actually. Sunday high of 90, Monday high of 93, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, we will almost reach 100-degree weather. Friday, we see how we have a high of 98, which is perfect to go to the beach after a long, stressful semester and after finals week. There's a look at your 7-day Bronx weather forecast. Back to you, Myra.
Thank you so much, Helena, for that weather. Starting this summer, many students will engage in study abroad sessions throughout various countries around the world. But when visiting foreign countries, one must be prepared for a risk and dangers involved. Find out how you can stay safe. Karina Cantu has the story.
Humberto Zambudio is one of the many students that travel abroad every semester.
I went to study abroad in Spain, Salamanca, and in London.
Zambudio had to go through an extensive orientation on studying abroad before he left.
Every country is getting worse, so maybe see what are the problems or the issues in the country that students are going through, if they know there's a bunch of killing or something, okay, how can we prevent that,
More than 280,000 American students studied abroad last year. Before they leave, they are required to read a policies and procedures book like this one to know what to do in case of an emergency.
So there are a variety of policies, both in the Handbook of Operating Procedures here at the university and our own internal guidelines that we cover with the students.
The FBI has gotten involved with students traveling abroad by posting a 30-minute warning video on their website detailing how a student got tricked into working for the Chinese.
We don't send students to countries where we would expect there to be a problem.
So remember, before taking that flight to another country, make sure to be prepared, alert, and safe. For BroncTV, I am Karina Cantu. Finals week is just around the corner. Find out about the struggles some students face as they prepare for exams. Lucero Rodriguez went out around campus to find out more.
It is the end of the semester, and that means it is finals time. We know this is the most stressful time for the semester for everyone, so we went to ask students how do they prepare for their exams.
During finals week, I spend a lot of time at the library, and I force myself to study. Like, I tell all my friends I can't talk to them.
2 or 3 days before, I'm gonna get together with a friend so we can study and go over notes.
Just really take notes, study hard, and then just understand like what are the highlights that you really need to know for all of your exams.
We are aware some students have some habits when it comes to strategies to study. We were not shy to ask about it here at UTPA.
If it's late, I have to have coffee and some food and my laptop and music, but then I get distracted.
I listen to music sometimes, and then sometimes I don't listen to anything and just focus on the material.
I have an apartment with 6 guys in it. I mainly just kind of just stick around at the library or just find outside, like a place where I can sit down and just have my own time to dedicate to studies.
When you listen to music, what type of music do you listen to? I like listening to either instrumental music, so no lyrics, or like foreign music, like French music or something, so that I don't get distracted by it.
I listen to hip-hop, rap, rock. It's mainly hip-hop and rap, the ones I'm really into it, yeah.
I usually like to be in a quiet place with like some music without lyrics, get some classical music.
Techno, just something that really gets you pumped and really makes you want to like study.
Are you very worried because you're not concentrating enough for your finals? Do not worry, because we were able to get some piece of advice from your fellow Bronx.
I would say go over it as much as you can, ask questions to the professor, to classmates, and just take breaks.
First of all, turn off your phone, get off all social media. If it's possible, even your computer, because if you're just free from everything else, you'll pay more attention.
As long as you try your hardest, you can do anything.
Get hold of these pieces of advice and apply them to your work. Good luck, Bronx, and do your best on your finals week. For BroncTV News, I am Lucero Rodriguez.
Well, that does it for today, Bronx.
If you have a story idea, don't hesitate to let us know. Visit our Facebook page at facebook.com/BroncRadioTV. And if you want to know more about what we offer at BroncTV and Radio, enter utpa.edu/BRTV.
You can also reach us via Twitter. Just search for our Twitter handle at BroncRadioTV. Use the hashtag #StoryIdea to let us know what you want us to cover. We want to thank you for joining us on this edition of BroncTV News. I am Mayra Gomez.
And I'm Karina Cantu. Until next time.